Welcome back to the action here at the European Ultimate Championships 2023. We are in pre-quarterfinals for the mixed division. Poland taking on Hungary to see who will advance into the championship bracket. Myself, Hannah Pendlebury, alongside Charlotte Terrason for this matchup. And how are you feeling, Charlotte?
Amazing. I'm feeling amazing, Hannah. So happy that we're finally getting to these championship brackets. The pre-quarters are starting. Some teams already qualified for the quarterfinals, just waiting to see who their opponent will be. And this, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, we're going to figure this out this morning with pre-quarters happening in front of us. Hungary against Poland.
Indeed. Well, the other pre-quarters, you have Great Britain versus Switzerland, Lithuania versus the Czech Republic, Italy, Slovakia, Finland, Latvia on the other stream over on field number 15, Germany, Austria, and Denmark, Norway. Because, of course, this mixed division, there is not one team that hasn't had a loss, which is a real statement to the depth of power of the field here. Certainly. This is mixed pre-quarter-final one, sorry. So you're playing for the opportunity to end up on the same side of the bracket as Ireland. And France, of course, the other power pool qualifier straight through. Different formats across all the different divisions here at this European Championships. Thus far, the Hungarians have had losses against Great Britain, Latvia, Italy, and Switzerland, but a shock win against the Belgians 15-13 in a very tight game, and rolled through the Danes and the Norwegians to get here. But the Polish are the ones that are going to start us out on offense, getting us underway. Chlebicka with the up line. Nice smooth moves as they have raced down the field, frankly, but a little bit of a hold now. Rudy. A lot of air under that for Chlebicka. Through now into Tarkowska. Puts one up into the air, though it's going to be taken away by a fabulous poaching off defender, the number 21, Adam Saloki.
Really good vision. Always play smarter than harder. If you can poach and get an easy pass like that, easy pass, easy block.
Well, it was a very gentle pass that had a lot of loft under it, so easy pickings for any defender lurking. And the first turnover of the game and the opportunity for the Hungarian break. Another shot, really nice lateral flow there for the Hungarians. Paxi now underneath. Balamagi puts up a ripper into the deep space. There's a Polish pair of eyes underneath it, but streaking through, it's a number 10, Marton Baksai. And there we go. It's a first break. Greta Hartaj with the goal.
What a beautiful sky from Baksai, who avoided every other bodies underneath. Really clean jump, reaching to discover every opponent to get the assist for first break on the first point of this game. Hungary starting very well.
Well, I tell you what, there's part of my brain that recognizes the number 10, Baksai, from possibly that Hungarian championship team in the mixed division back from 2019.
The showcase game of Hungary in Győr.
We did indeed have that opening showcase. And what a thriller it was. A very feisty, very, very young team at that point. But certainly 4 years the wiser for the returning players. They've had some other people pick up Ultimate as well, of course. The man we all just know as Zoltan, who's in charge of this Hungarian side. He's here on the sidelines coaching, but that's a really great way to start for the Hungarians as they fight to get a berth into quarterfinals. Van swings across. Chlebicka now. This is really lovely flow from the Polish after that initiation. Now, can they throw cleanly here? Indeed, that is an absolute sitter of a forehand into the open channel and easily collected by Monika Zakowska.
Very clean offense here, perfectly executed. I mean, the swings were there, the dumps, the continuation, timing, clean ultimate. Coach must be really happy seeing that. It's like a perfect play where you see the coach on the sideline feeling like, yes, that is good. That is exactly what I told them to do, and they did it.
Yeah,
enjoy it, coach. Doesn't happen often.
I don't know, Charlotte. It depends what team you're coaching and what oppositions you're facing, I guess. You know, there's lots of things to be pleased about for both teams coming up through the division. We talked about the Hungarian results so far, Charlotte, but what's been the Polish journey so far?
They've had very tight game. One against Lithuania that they won on the universe point. Another one against Austria, lost unfortunately 15-13. A pretty good win against Switzerland 15-11, and against Finland as well 15-9. But against France, they had the lead during the whole game. It finally ended losing at the universe point 15-14. What a game that must have been. And winning over Slovakia 15-13. A pretty good journey, I'd say.
Absolutely. Well, they've had plenty of practice in tight situations. As you say, that French mixed team looking very dominant, and the Polish pushed them all the way to that universe point after taking the lead in that game. Of course, we have all those results point by point, thanks to our wonderful scorekeepers out here on the fields in sunny Limerick. But a drop in the midfield on the break opportunity to put us back on serve here. Komalski, I'm sure, wanted that one back. But on the shove-out, Siba puts up a goal into the near side with a very rapid counter-attack, Charlotte.
Yes, Hungary making sure they get their hold and don't lose their disc again. How unfortunate for Poland. They had that break disc in the hand, maybe too much pressure for some people that couldn't handle the big pressure and work to get the break. That is what they need. They just got broken once.
Well, it's a shame to see that drop in the center field. Just an unforced error, really. Obviously, there is pressure being applied from both sides. The Hungarians with a very short roster. Not in terms of stature, just in terms of the playing number. They just have 15 teammates out here on the field in Limerick.
That is pretty, what is the word? Courageous, brave to come with such young team and such little roster. I mean, it was the same in Győr. They had a really short roster and still did the whole championship. We're really happy to see them. It's not often that we get to see Hungarian teams playing, so it's a real pleasure to have diversity in the countries we see represented at EUC.
Well, indeed, those teenagers from 2019 now in their early 20s, so still spring chickens as far as an ultimate playing career is concerned. So the Polish fighting against this Hungarian zone, having pretty good time of it so far, but now stuck a little bit, coming through. It's the number 31, Michal Rudy. No real spreading across the field to try and tempt that over the top of the cup shot for the Polish. But that's good lateral flow, nice little bit of a gainer on the far side. Giving and going now. Just anchoring, finding their moments. So getting a bit exciting now. Lead to the far sideline, and the pass is contested, but it is well held by Maja Kozak. And that was a nice, swift and smooth O-point against a zone. 23 passes, not the biggest tally in the world, but a really good idea from the Hungarians to slow down the Polish offensive flow.
Definitely what you try to do when putting up a zone. Kozak with the strong hands to hold on that disc for the goal, Polish goal, to hold their offense. I'm not quite convinced by this zone, I gotta say. Obviously it worked in the way that they did have to do 23 passes before reaching the end zone to score, but I felt like a lack of pressure from the cup. To me, it didn't look like the cup was really putting on pressure and forcing the handlers to take a choice, you know?
I'm going to take a look at this shot that's just faded off our screen. Look at those flags. There is barely a flutter on them. Of course, our corner of the pitch flags on the right side of your screen now, where the poles are getting ready for this poll. Those force and EUF flags get a little bit more action no matter what the conditions, but the flags of nations at the other side of the pitch, next time those are on your screen, just notice how very still they are. So yes, putting a zone on, a curious choice, but it's match coverage, the name of the game for the Polish team, and they will get a turnover on the far side. Plays up with a lovely lateral gainer. Kaczmarek now. Solid work from that handler mark, really trying to close off the space. The Hungarians putting on some kind of weird poach, maybe zone defense, but it's the hammer that opens up the scoring opportunity and easily brought in by Jakub Kaczmarek.
I really liked the teammates' help on this boxing out. The receiver just had to stay in position to get that hammer. Love the hammer, by the way. But his teammate just stood in front of him and blocking the defender, trying to have a position on that under that disc. Really good blocking by the teammate. I don't exactly know if this is allowed to do it on purpose, but in any case, that worked. Playing the disc, good way to avoid defending.
I don't think there was necessarily a straight up sort of, as you say, not playing the disc is a blocking foul, which is not permitted within the rules of Ultimate. But I think it was more just the case of Kamoshki probably realised that he didn't have the best position, that his teammate did instead, and so left the disc well alone and sort of, he didn't maybe even try and get out the way, he turned away from it. But certainly a good way to break back for the Polish mixed side, and lots of Polish love in the chat. I'm afraid I don't speak much Polish myself, but it does look like the fans from back home are getting excited.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what is going to happen in this game.
Absolutely. Well, we do love to be joined by our subscribers in the live chat. If you're not subscribed, you can't get involved in that, so why not like, subscribe, and hit the thumbs up button on this game. Help us best the algorithm. The Hungarians, though, now at centre field, moving the disc nicely. Saloki with an inside shot to the end zone, and that is a really lovely laser of a backhand straight into the bread box of Greta Hartaj.
We're having pretty clean offenses so far in the game. I mean, not so many turnovers so far. We had one at the start of the game for the first break by Hungary, and then one other for the Polish break, and only one of the scored offenses had a turnover. So only 3 so far. I think that is pretty good. Pretty clean and control of this disc. Sorry, I'm struggling with the cables at the same time I'm talking, I'm trying to do everything. I'm not that multitasking.
Oh, Charlotte, surely you're the woman who can do it all. And I see with the cheering up weather, you're actually wearing your excellent kicks rather than your wellies or gum boots, you might call them. Is it nice to be a little bit better ventilated around your toes today?
It does feel better like this, but also it is such well-constructed media city with a tent. We're covered, we have platforms, everything to stay dry, so thanks for ULTI.TV. I can wear my super sneakers instead of gummy boots.
Our feet stay dry, but I'm not sure about the rest of us. But that is a really great gainer on the far side of the field. The Polish well in flow and in stride here. We're looking for a reset now, though, with just about a third of the field to go. Klivichka attacks the line, has a teammate on the front corner. And it's going to be, indeed, that section of the pitch that is scored in. This time, Kasper Pogajny coming through to replace that initial cut. Yeah, Badona, which, apologies if we massacre some of these names. We are trying our very best, folks. And thank you to all of the players that have written in a slightly more normalised English version for our non-Polish brains how to pronounce these surnames and first names. But what did you think of that possession for Team Poland?
They don't seem to be very eager to use the break side or the dump. And we've seen the player in possession of the disc looking a little bit for the dump and maybe 2 seconds and just go for the upline rather than the dump. It worked. They stayed on the open side and did score efficiently. But it's interesting to see how they stay on that side. And I'd like to see what they can do in case of shutting down this uplines option. Are they capable of swinging, of using the break side? I mean, we've seen the overhead, the hammer. For me, this is a way to use the break side for sure. But let's see if Hungary will force some swings and so. But first, Hungary is with the offense.
Yeah, the conditions are ideal for any kind of upside down action that you might want to take on. But that's going to be a flat huck out into the space.
Oh.
What a beautiful throw from the 17 shirt, Melinda Golanaji, with a just visionary throw that opens up the space. And let's be real here, same with her third hucks are very tricky to execute.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really tight window to aim at her receiver, but nothing too complicated for Melinda Golanaji. I hope we pronounce your name like this. She's actually pretty young, only 18 years old, but already been playing for 8 years in her hometown of Győr, which you might know for hosting EUC 2019.
Indeed, it was a wonderful place to host it in terms of the transport options, the kind of cost of being in Győr. Very nice place to be indeed. Some wonderful architecture as well. It had some snaffles, some snafus, shall we say. Some issues with various different elements of the tournament. My favourite thing was that the sprinklers would come on sometimes if the last game slot would run long. There were lots of excellent media clips of spectators, coaches, medical staff sacrificing themselves at the altar of wetness to make sure that the play could continue. But of course, these things do happen. There's always challenges at major championship events. So swinging across to the far sideline. This is much better pressure, but there indeed is the slicer through that front cup. Continuation up line into the sky goes Podgaini. That one's going to take a little bit of a turnaround, but well backed up. The connections on these Polish teammates are really so apparent. Oh, and that's such a nice find. Slivic's just hanging out at the back of the end zone and spotted by Michal Rudy for the goal.
Indeed, this Polish communication was pretty interesting. I mean, we might not be close enough to hear anything, but it didn't seem to me that they were actually talking about who is going for this one. They just looked at each other like everything was obvious about who's getting the disc. Just continue playing. I mean, probably they're used to play a lot together, or their connection was built efficiently. Good work from the coach, good preparation for this tournament. Let's see, Zewskowska finding the holes in the cup. Cup hold pretty far in the field. They're holding their zone defense until the end.
I do like the respect shown by the Hungarian forces and sort of cup affair. There are very few times where it pinches in kind of a marking infraction style. Sometimes you see teams really hang out very, very close, those sort of frontline players to the person with the disc, even when there aren't resets in the area. So I have a lot of respect for that, but I agree with you, Charlotte. I still think the Hungarian zone could be a little bit more aggressive at the front, try and apply some pincers, but it's going to be them coming out on offense. They look to put in the next point. Of course, we are all back on serve. Hatay with the pass up line. Sideline being asked to be cleared as a curvature beautifully placed in front of Luka Sarapaktsai. That was a really nice idea.
That was a great vision, yes. I really like how these outsides avoiding everyone. I love this. Really, as a cutter, it's amazing. You just have to continue running, and the disc is just gently coming in front of you, and you just go sandwich catch. Please sandwich catch, because dropping that one because you go with one hand is the most frustrating thing for the whole team. But really nice look.
Well, that must be an open side cut. There's a lot of trust going into these shots for the female matching players, for the Hungarians in particular. They're really good at sort of utilizing them in the deep space. It's been 2 scores the past 2 possessions for Hungary that have gone that way. And a mirror image as well, both 4 passes required, 5 on the previous Hungarian O-line possession, whereas the tally, of course, for the Poles against this zone-style defense is much more considerable. So the cup a little bit more close now, putting some big targets on it. Tell you what, that number 33, Luka Vlovic, is indeed a very tall athlete. But there's an escape on the far sideline, looking for the pop, making that mark go through, opening up to Eva Pandobladila. And an easy scoop. Well, that didn't take a double-digit pass tally, Charlotte. That was just an escape down the far sideline, extremely well followed up.
I'm still really confused with this zone defense. I don't understand what it is supposed to shut down. It really looks that everything is open. The person on the cutters are marking kind of person defense, but also poaching. But that is the whole thing. They are poaching, letting open people in the middle of the pitch, while the cup is only 3 persons and letting space in front of the disc, but at the same time space between the players in the cup. I really struggle. What do you understand out of this zone, Anna?
I think, well, you have to give some credit also to the Polish. The way that they are spreading the field, because we do not have high wind conditions, is really quite something. I think at the moment it seems like that last possession they obviously had 2 people that were sort of marking the handle space. I agree with you. I'm not sure how much. It's definitely not enough pressure on the experienced handlers of the Polish O-line. Talking to Grażyna Klebicka yesterday, she was saying that she's been pulling a lot of duty for this Polish side, but even with these higher pass tallies for the Polish, they still are not having to work super hard for their points. Of course, both teams getting breaks, but off of unforced errors, as that one narrowly escapes the flying palm of Joanna Witrowska. There's going to be a discussion about this play here, with both players bidding for the disc. So a retracted call. I like to see that, Charlotte. I don't think Filip Stepinak initiated the contact there. Both players just trying to make the sliding grab. Huge effort from Mentesiba. Are they getting us underway?
That is one of the rare turnovers we get.
Absolutely, this has been mighty clean for a hotly contested quarter-final so far, but we love to see it. Both teams showing us exactly what they're capable of doing. Of course, only one can advance to the championship bracket after some mixed results so far in this mixed division. Just moving it forward slowly but surely. Czaplinska, though, is going to open up the arm and narrowly misses. Great attempt from Komalski, but a squandered opportunity. So, can this intense match defense cause more issues for the Hungarians? No, a lovely visionary shot across the fight to Halat. Pop through again into their hands. Kolanlaji opens up yet another beautiful bladey flick This time it finds, I don't know, I say this time, that's double trouble connections for Julia Halatz.
Yes, we've seen her everywhere on the pitch for this point, Julia Halas, and what a catch, one-hand catch, casually with the defender arriving close to her. She doesn't care, she has one job and got it done perfectly.
Well,
let's see it again, just this catch. Great job over the defense.
And it's not just the Polish fans in the chat now, we also have some of our Hungarian friends. Welcome, welcome one and all. I still don't understand what many of you are saying, but I'm sure it's complimentary and positive things about the play on this game so far. Of course, the turnover count very low, showing the quality of both sides. That is now a total of 6 turnovers for 12 points. So a solid ratio and just the 2 breaks at hand. So 2 recovered points by the Hungarian O-line. But as we emerge towards the first half being over, this game is really rapidly disappearing. It's been 25 minutes of this 100-minute time slot, and at the moment neither team really able to make headway. Again, the Hungarians coming out with this poachy zony look. They don't seem to be able to run through Charlotte when the disc moves and gets behind that front wall, which it continuously does again and again. Zakowska finds the up line. Klivichka now, that option at the back looks very, very tempting, but conservatism happy to be taken. And the Blutlieder on the far side. Oh, that's a nice shot through the centre. Bagani hangs one up on a piece of string in the front corner, and it is collected very easily.
I really like these passes. All of a sudden, both teams are showing really good vision, I'd say. They play pretty usual ultimate, just finding holes in the cup, getting the disc moving back and forth, and then all of a sudden there's that one pass coming out of nowhere, like unexpected, and that is actually like really good, opening so much space, but aiming at an unusual space, I'd say. Like this last pass, I was not expecting anything to be thrown there at this moment, but it is exactly what is the best and what is needed, because we see that it is a clean hold score. What else? If it works, it works. And well, this is another clean hold. So many clean holds.
It's interesting, isn't it? We talk about, you know, what the best option is. I think it's very apparent from this Polish mix side, their preparation coming into the tournament has paid off. They just know exactly where they're going to be. Of course, this isn't their first time at a European Championship. They were 9th in 2019, 11th in 2015, and 7th in 2011. So they're looking to go into this championship bracket for the second time in their history coming to EUC as the mixed side. But they played Windmill, ended up 11th after playing Lithuania, Italy and Estonia and the Germans. I'm frustrated with that one though, but this is a lovely pass into the deep space, so close, and did he get a tip on it? Is that our first true block of the game from Susanna Pindlinska?
Right?
Oh, wow.
It's one of the first one, or the first one.
Well, this would be a pretty big moment for the Polish defense, because breaking right now would give them half, 8-7, so 8-6 even. And then they would also be starting off in the second half on offense, so giving themselves the opportunity for a proper advantage in this game. The Hungarian zone finally causing some issues. I think with the clustering of the players on the field, perhaps they need to stretch it a little bit more, both in lateral and in the depth of field. You can see there the pointing, saying, please go over the back of the cup. I would like to throw over the top of it, and he does. Osiewski with the rolling catch, just securing possession. Moving the cup around nicely. Variety, a really apparent factor for this Polish side. Happy to throw any which way, any which part of the field. Oh, nice little crouch down. Good flexibility from Kolmalski. And now receives again from Ade. The word super being used many times to my left along the sideline, and I agree. This is superb finesse from the D-line. They squandered the last opportunity on a slightly racy biscuit into the end zone, that last pass syndrome. But are they going to be threading it all the way through? Half field now. Ade.
What a moment to be patient. And here comes the hammer.
To be honest, that's as patient as hammer as ever you'll see on an ultimate pitch, especially in these lovely, clean conditions weather-wise. It's almost perfect ultimate playing weather. It's just nice and cool. Recentering back. Czewkowski.
Very widespread cup.
Yeah, well, it does seem to be causing some moments of thought for the Polish, although again, they exploit that centre space very, very well. Maybe a little bit of tiredness in this young but very short collection of Hungarian players, just the 15 of them, even though they don't have many anywhere near master's age yet. Ade hanging out on the far side, just keeping discipline, keeping space. Will be available for a big lateral swing. But the Polish choosing to go between each other, and there we go, breaking for half. All quiet until that last bit of rapid attack. Jakub Kaczmarek and Kamil Osiecki.
39 passes, that is some patience. Even with the hammer, I mean, that's some control. Two hammers. What a control, and really good defense by Peplinska. So close to the opposite end zone. She got the disc back for her teammates, for herself, and got that break. Poland taking the half with 2 breaks on their side.
Well, the Polish fans in the live chat, clearly a big fan of the break to take half. 8-6. We will take a break here, though, too, in our booth, but do not go anywhere. The second half of this match, can the Hungarians surmount this Polish lead? 8-6, they lead.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Half-time here in mixed pre-quarterfinals. Who will advance into the champion bracket and who will have to play for consolidation? Looking at the break stats of this game, the Hungarians with just the 1 break chance early doors off of the miscued throw, Charlotte. They took it, but they haven't had a look into this game since. And the break chances, 50% conversion rate for Team Poland. And we've only had 35 minutes expire off the game clock. The pace of this game is scorching, Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, look at these clean holds, 6-3 clean holds. That is massive, knowing the score is 8-6. I mean, really good offenses on both sides. Maybe not the appropriate defense. They might could find another way to put pressure on both of these offensive lines. I mean, both of them are working pretty well against the zone that they are applying, and maybe there might be something to work on. Try another zone. As we were talking, they have pretty young players. They must have a lot of energy, even despite of their small roster. So could try. I mean, I would like to try to go person defense if I was a coach and see. I mean, talking about the Hungarian team, putting a person defense on the Polish opponents. Try to put more pressure in their decisions, and especially on the open side for the cutters. They've been using a lot of verticality, not that much lateral, the width of the field. So, yeah, maybe person defense trying to put pressure on that undercut or even deep cut, but on the open side. What would you do, Anna? What would work according to you?
I'm with her. I think you said it well, Charlotte, in terms of putting that match defense on, trying to pressure this Polish side a little bit more. At the moment, they're being given all the time and space in the world to choose their options, take their moments. Of course, it's wonderful to have these easy conditions for playing styles. The tournament has been shortened slightly. Finals day will be Friday. Semi-finals and finals in the same day at this European Championship, just because, of course, of the weather forecast for Saturday that looks really grueling and grisly. So we'll be hiding from the conditions on Saturday, unless for some reason the forecast changes and we end up getting sunshine like we have today. But yeah, I think with the Hungarians, I would say maybe even a little bit of force middle to try and push the handlers together. They've been working really well in flow, especially up those lines when we get towards the end zone. So maybe some force middle, maybe some force outs. Just change it up more. See what's going to stick on these Polish jerseys, because at the moment they're one break up and the natural advantage from having started this game on offense, and it could all be over. And the Hungarians think, what on earth happened?
I like the idea of force middle. I think that would be a good one against the Polish, just to see how they would, if they are able to use the central part of the field on a normal playing. When I say normal, it's not zoney.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the Hungarians come out in match defense really at all, but they're going to have to start on O in the second half. They have to. I'm sure they'll be quite glad to have the disc in their hands. Clement thinking about that high release backhand towards the break side. Underneath, Luka Takac. Inside is the force, and there is snaffled up by Zuzana Peplinska. That's her second block for this game. Although that one did feel a little bit like it was thrown directly into her hands. Just read it super well.
She's always there in the deep space, ready to get the defense.
And again, the Polish going over through the zone, and that a big collision. And you can see immediately Fredette Clement looking a bit frenetic. Just took him out clean. Didn't make any adjustment to move out of the way, but that is going to be ruled a turnover on the field.
I mean, the Hungarian player didn't move at all. He was just standing there, Clement, waiting to march.
So clearly the decision from the Polish player, I didn't quite catch the number, but that's two big collisions in a short space of time. I think that's the old school injury signal.
I hope everyone's okay. While they're discussing this, I found it interesting. Again, we see that they're not using laterality. There was stuck on the sideline and couldn't find the dump. I mean, I didn't see the player with this turnaround a single second to look at the dump, and rather would go for the deep shot, risky 50-50 shot, despite of the tall bodies of the receivers, giving at least a chance to the jump. That'd be a better option to open the game and reset, stall, and give better window for the cutters as well.
Well, I love the presence of mind of the Hungarian player that turns all the way around and tries to kind of just reach over the pack of players on the floor and retain possession. But it'll be a longish discussion here. Lots of air underneath that pass. The initial play. So certainly some collateral on the way back through, and hopefully the Polish player who signalled the injury, Filip Stepiniak, will be okay.
What do you think would be the outcome of this? Because on one side, the Polish player was already jumping and running in his direction. The Hungarian player wanted to attack and go in this cut.
Well, it seems like the collision happens because of kind of the amount of hair underneath Stepiniak as he kind of made that really early play, falls backwards completely by accident, some accidental contact. What was the, I mean, we've seen it over and over again, but perhaps some discussion as to whether or not the Hungarian player was high enough to make the catch on his attempt.
What do you think in the chat? Let us know. What do you think the outcome of this should be?
Well, there's some raised eyebrows, emoji-wise. But it's going to come back to the thrower. So the last uncontested part of play. Can't get an agreement here, so the fairest resolution is to go back to the moment you can agree on, and a timeout being called at what must be stall 6, because it came back in on it after the contested foul. Of course, that's the maximum that you can come back in on. So starting stalling 7, presumably, when that one comes back in. Luka Takac signalling the timeout there. But we're going to take a break here in the booth too. Don't go anywhere as this second half starts to heat up.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Second half, as you see, Dosi Zoltan there, the coach of this young Hungarian outfit, just backstepping his way off of the field. Timeout, Hungarian possession as they look to put the first point on the board for this second half. It was such a rapid act. Although, as Noah Brinkworth, experienced camera op, said to us during the halftime, Charlotte, a lot of these games here at the European Championships have had a half hour, if that, for their first half, and then things start to slow down quite a lot. But 3 seconds taken, far too long. Perhaps she forgot it was coming in on 7 after that timeout call, of course, using up the 1 or 2 seconds of the stall count that came in on that maximum of 6 after the contested foul. So, Polish possession. This for the buy one, get one blocks. Flying across. Again, the Hungarians looking to put this zone on. It's just being eaten up. A little bit of a bump there. But all's fair, just incidental contact. Trying to really stop the around, but I'll tell you what, that number 56, Bensetov, needs to be a little bit further around the back of the mark to prevent these just easy resets for the Polish. They're happy to take the negative yards because they can throw anything they want in these conditions. Oh, lovely flow motion. That one, a little bit of adjustment required, but all easy enough for Onofriev. Good crashing in from the cup, but doesn't stick quite with it and get in front. Lovely arcing blade all the way across the field. Happy to expand and take the opportunities. This for another break to go to 9-6 with a 3-point difference. If they can, has a little flirt with the easy quick inside. Instead goes for the reset around. Folek. Now back to Stepaniak, who is back on the field after, well, actually, he never left the field. Travel call, just a little one.
Yeah, I was thinking she's walking a little bit too much.
Well, of course, you don't have to slow down, but you do have to remain still in the same fashion when you have your pivot set. Let's go, those throws directly into the off shoulder of Filip Stepaniak, and they miss the opportunity again to break. But this point is getting almost the same number of turnovers that the entire first half had, Charlotte.
I think so too. This has been the longest point we've had. And pick is called. I think that is exactly what we were talking about during the half, as you were saying also earlier. Some of those games start very fast on the first half, 25 minutes, and then the real game starts in the second half. Much more pressure, players getting tired, more turnovers.
Oh, a nice high release dish into the underneath cut of Clement. Now back to Halatz. Julia Halatz going for the around. Toth bounces around to Tibat. Safarkas even. One of the many benches on this Hungarian team. They've got a lot of bents. In fact, 3 of their male matching players are all called Bents, Bensetov, Tsiba and Ferrari. Ferrari even.
We're still at the first point of the second half.
We are indeed, Charlotte. It's been about 10 minutes long, if not longer. The pressure is applied, but it goes behind the back. Julia Halatz holding her space. I really do enjoy how much this Hungarian mixed side, Charlotte, played true mixed ultimate. Every single player on the field is empowered to have a role that's impactful.
Yes, we see all of them playing in all positions. It's not only men cutting, women getting the handle, or vice versa, or whatever. They really use everyone on every space. We've seen guys and girls handling, hooking, having these important throws, but also receiving in the deep zone, whether it is for a long shot or short underneath. All positions have been played by every gender, and it's really nice to see this in mixed division. It's not all teams that are capable of that, so always pleased to have this.
I've been especially impressed by the number 17, Melinda Golanagi, that 18-year-old we talked about, still in high school, but she's got 2 assists so far in this game and really has been opening up the field with her throwing prowess. More of a more distributed affair, of course, for this Polish side, who have been throwing well into the double digits. It was 33 passes they completed before that one that went into the shoulder of Stepanik. But the patience of this O-line, only been turned over once so far this entire game. Good hold off there from Clement to avoid absolutely clattering the female matching player in the centre of the pocket of the zone. We like to see the respect. The fuck. Just delicately distributing. Off the lefty. Is that an offhand?
A what?
An offhand backhand. It was delicate offhand backhand throw, because I think that number 48 shirt, left-back, is indeed a righty. But we'll have to pay a little bit more attention next time he has the Frisbee. Certainly silky smooth pivoting form. Yep, there you go. But of course, an offhand backhand can be so much more useful in small spaces than a flick. But again, the pass count rising for this Polish O-line. They've been picture perfect apart from that first turnover of the game. Now moving across. Rudy. Oh, lovely find in the centre pocket. Now just moving it around between the handlers, waiting for the opportunity to develop, and there it does indeed again. Michal Rudy working the central zone offense position beautifully. And I'm not sure if it's necessarily that the Polish are playing amazing of offense against the zone. They are certainly playing very patient, very smooth, great flow, great connections. But this zone just still doesn't seem to be applying really much pressure, if any, Charlotte.
Exactly, that's what I've been trying to figure out, is what is the goal of this zone. Exactly, because you cannot shut down everything for sure, but you apply the best defense given the circumstances, maybe the wind, maybe something else, maybe the style of the opposite team. And in this case, there's not much wind. So every upsides are easily thrown to get over the cup, but they don't even need to, because the cup is really widespread and they just keep finding holes everywhere. Polish, congrats to them, using all the space given to them and realizing it, using it as soon as possible. But still, it's, as you say, it doesn't apply much pressure, and we can feel it that the Polish O-line still didn't seem to be in dangerous situation.
So if we cast our minds back to the first point of this game, Charlotte, where that one turnover from the Polish island was generated, the Hungarians were playing match defense.
So that is no
surprise.
No surprise, yes.
Just a little curious one for us out there, folks. But they're sticking with this wonderful flow on offense. Lovely stuff, Paksai. Just finding a visionary put to this near sideline to really open up the space laterally. And again, Kolanaji. Those a little bit undercooked though, and that's going to be a pressure defense, calling the foul. Just having a little bit of a discussion, waiting for a translator to come in, little hand signal. It's going to be the youngster, Melinda Kolanaji, who's going to come in and help translate.
It's quite a weird, okay.
I like that. Give yourself a chance to have a chat about it. You can always retract the call, and this one is indeed an errant throw for the Hungarians. A rare turnover in this match, though we had 4 in the first point, of course, of this half. So can the Polish mixed team put this one in? They've got the full stretch to go, similar to what they had the last time they were out on the field. That last, of course, final point.
This zone seemed to be their default defense, when even the O-line is playing this zone defense.
Maybe they're just trying to bore the Poles, you know? Oh, again the zone? Again?
Seriously? Oh.
Well, clearly there wants to be a break taken by Mateusz Koszmalski, because he calls the timeout and says, let's put together a plan of attack to get through this zone. Maybe not happy with the spacing. A lot of the players quite deep in the field, so why waste the stall count? Take the timeout. We'll be back to see how this pays off for them. Will it be a turnover? Who knows? Find out after these messages. Second half pre-quarter final action here at the European Ultimate Championships 2023. Myself, Hannah Pendlebury, alongside Charlotte Terrason in the booth as we see. Is this a continuation of the zone? I do believe it is.
What a surprise!
Well,
Hungary with the zone.
I know. It's. I don't know what you think about this, fans watching this match. We are very curious as to why the Hungarians are staying in this zone format. They have slightly changed it up. It's just a cluster around the players, not really. In fact, I think that was Jan Madej saying, actually, you're not close enough to stall me, any of you. Which one of you is actually marking me? Because, anyway, but pops in to apply that stall. Does the number 17, Melinda Golanagi. But of course, that turnover was generated. The confusion, perhaps a little sloppy action by match defense at the beginning of the game. Kaczmarek working beautifully. Great recovery. A little bit of a stumble into the mark. Throws that one almost into the floor. Podmarski thinking about the offhand backhand. Takes that anchor around. Just needs somebody in the backspace to look for that continuation. They're not even looking towards this near sideline though. There was the opportunity 100% available, I thought, to Puplinska. Now they do take her. Of course, 2 blocks so far for the number 1 shirt of Poland. Now, they had last pass syndrome before almost. Just spoiled reset. Streaking through the cup to move the force. A little bit of a late release, but now perhaps this is why the Hungarians are playing zone. They think they can hold at the end zone line, but that one sneaks through. Jakub Kaczmarek with the 10th goal of this game for Poland, and it's another break. They now lead 2 breaks the better of the Hungarians.
I'm not quite sure this zone is made to get trapped on the sideline. I mean, it is exactly what I was thinking, that with this zone defense, the Polish team can swing easily. They really can move from one side to the other of the pitch without too much troubles, while when they're marked person defense, we see that they tend, as the Hungarian team, to just get trapped on one side and keep playing on this side with uplines only, and no swing, no dump. And maybe this is a tool they don't have. Maybe they do, but we haven't seen it so far. So as a coach, I would try to get that one, choose one side and trap them so that they maybe force out. I mean, just trap them on one side and see what they do. I mean, it's easier for the cutter as well. You only have one narrow window to mark. And yeah, I mean, this zone is really disturbing me.
Well, there is obviously the potential point. We have seen a lot of the same players coming out again and again for this Hungarian lines because they have a shorter roster. They do all seem to be cleated up and playing more or less, but there's just the 15 of them. They are, a lot of them, in their late teens and early 20s, so in fine fettle from an athletic perspective. But maybe it's the case of some of them looking a little bit tired. However, right now on offense, they're not looking tired at all, but there's a focus error. Martin Paksai with the drop. That's his 2nd of the game, unfortunately, and it opens up a moment of a fast counter-attack at long last. A bit more energy gets into this game. A huge ripper to Wojciech Bogdanov.
That was really fast. I was reading some of your comments on the live chat and missed the whole action. I mean, that was super fast.
We love to see it. I mean, you know, I am a big fan of the live chat, getting excited about the execution of the hammers.
Luckily, we got a lovely replay of this score for anyone else who also missed it. Nice and easy catch for Poland. Bogdanov with a score. And so, since I was reading the chat, some of you think it's also due to the zone defense is just because of the small roster, and that physically it would be too hard. In one sense, it's true that we're watching one game, but it's a championship, a whole week of championship. You have a whole week to play with a small roster.
But it's also not the biggest amount of, like, not the highest workload. You think about most of these athletes, Charlotte, are used to playing an entire tournament schedule worth of Ultimate in but 2 days. That's the usual format, over a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 3 or sometimes even 4 games on a single day. Here at this championship, your maximum is 2 games per day.
Yeah, but the intensity, the length.
Do you remember being 18, Charlotte?
Oh, I would be playing every single person defense. Don't ask me. I'm like the savage person. I love playing savage. It's the best ultimate. You're so fired up. Like, don't make me play a zone. No, no, no. Person D non-stop every day, all day.
Well, there we go then, Charlotte. You remember being 18. Even now. Even now, Charlotte's ready for it. Of course, coming back from your torn ligature, I'm sure you'll be fighting the coach. Get me on that clipboard, get me on that clipboard. But the Polish now putting a zone against the Hungarians.
Oh.
Of course, they've had some miscues, some drops. So maybe trying to take advantage. The clapping from the far sideline, I love that from Clement saying, hello, I'm over here and I'm a big man. You can throw me an upside down throw if you like.
Don't
Although
ignore me.
hanging out very close to that sideline doesn't give himself any room to track back. That's all I'm saying. Now, after getting looked off for quite a while, he just sits himself in the handler space, just in the centre anchor position. Points to his teammate, says, hey, why don't you initiate that dude over there? But it ends up being a flat one rather than a gainer for Sibat, who, from my understanding, plays for Fire of London. No clue, no guessing, sorry, where that team's based. Clues in the name. There we go, Slinky Scuba to open up the space. That's more like it. You really do have the ability to throw those all day long, and they will indeed for the score. The celebration from Frédéric Clement. And the score reeled in by one of the benches on the team, Bence Siba by the looks.
And a second score for Hungary on this second half. They stopped the Polish flow. Poland had 3 goals in a row. Good for Hungary to get back on track and get one hold, and a clean hold, 28 passes, whatever it takes. We got time. I mean, they've been very fast at the beginning of this game, so we're still 37 minutes till the end of the game. You got time for a lot of passes.
Well, Frédéric Clement there was the real ideas man for that offensive hold for the Hungarians. He's a tall bloke, but he's only 16 years old if our numbers are right on this roster, the number 99.
No way.
He's huge. He's
already playing for 7 years, 7 years.
Yep, started back in school. Some club experience with Budapest Heroes, and says his career highlight so far was in the European Championships back in 2022 at the juniors level. So just last year, final layout catch for the win. And says one of his sporting heroes is Jimmy Mickle. Well, he's certainly got a very similar stature to Jimmy. He's a big unit too. But again, this zone, they've put Clement in the middle of that cup. To be honest, I prefer to see him playing sort of a middle in the zone. You can see him sort of sagging off a little bit, looking over his shoulder. Again, the swings being so easy for the Polish, and they follow up beautifully well with each other. Just following their own throws with the legs. See that there? That's how you gain yards with almost every single pass, which allows you to take those negative ones every so often. I'd also like to see the Hungarians, if they're going to stick with this zone, Charlotte, get a little bit more in the face of the mark, be a bit tighter.
and they stick to the zone till the end zone. They're really far.
Well, they've done it the rest of this game. They don't break out the zone. They don't melt to person coverage.
But look at all this space. I see so many free spaces.
I'll tell you what, I think the Hive Ultimate boys are going to have a really good time of, I say boys, not all of them are boys. But the Hive Ultimate crew, I should say, are probably going to have a wonderful time analysing this game. We might even get a little bit of action on Live at 55 this fine evening. Of course, our little talk show we've been hosting came out of just a random idea, but I'm really enjoying that content. Certainly more than I'm enjoying this Hungarian zone look.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see what the Hive crew will do with these amazing drone shots. I mean, this is perfect for analyzing games, just having this high view. It's like when you have your clipboard and showing the players the tactics. It's the exact same view with the drone. It's like live action of what you're drawing usually. And Poland 3 goals away now from the win. It's already 12-8. Still have a lot of time, but we're back in a pretty good scoring flow. We had that very long point after the first half, starting the second one. But both teams seem to be back in their flow. However, during this little readjustment, Poland managed to get 2 breaks, so they definitely have quite an advantage, 12-8. Hungary has a bit of a what's the word? I have to speed up.
Well, some sagging from the female matching handler marks, trying to deny the space that they've been able to open up so very effectively. Up lines. This Hungarian side happy to play in small spaces. They are quite clustered together on this near sideline. Is it going to be another assist on the tally for the golden head wonder, the number 17? It certainly is. That one just about reeled in over the line. You can see a little lefty push pass there. What a great attack, and another point on the board. Lukas Arapaksai. Of course, there's not too much of a spread of the stats for the roster of the Hungarians, Charlotte, because there's just straight up not that many of them out here on the field.
Yes, you must have your stat. Oh, for a second, I thought she was playing with AirPods. Like, I saw that white thing in her ear. Like, is she actually playing with music? Why, in a way, why not? I mean, you cannot communicate. I'd say it's a bad idea, but wouldn't surprise me that some people would enjoy that, even though I don't think it's spirited. I just thought like she had music. It's actually just tape on her ear. I hope everything's okay, but
I'm just trying to think. So obviously the equipment rules in Ultimate is that you're not allowed to play wearing something that could reasonably hurt you or hurt other people.
yes, AirPods.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything like an AirPod probably couldn't do you that much damage because it's not going to fit inside your ear canal, is it?
Yeah,
You just you know, yeah, just a bit of a weird one. Oh, there you go. I've never thought about that before. The idea of actually playing, certainly warm-ups. You have lots of players, myself included, that like to listen to music. Maybe some bone conductor headphones, so you could also still hear the music as well as hear the surroundings.
I mean, yeah.
They're great for going running in cities, I have to say. It's a bit of a game changer. It's nice to have your ears free and available to hear what's going on around you so you can avoid danger.
I mean, communication is a key in Ultimate. It's a team sport, so obviously communication is important.
Well, but not all players that play Ultimate can necessarily hear anyway. Because of course you could be deaf and play Ultimate.
You could. It's not, I think you're missing a lot of information.
Just have to find different ways to communicate. And make sure you get those reps in. But I tell you what, these Polish mixed players have definitely got lots of reps. We see a Melter match and they just opened it up like a can of beans on the sideline and ate it up for another point in this game. That's 13-9 now, the Polish lead.
mean, apparently the match defense, it doesn't stop the Polish from swinging the disc. I was waiting to see that, wondering what they would do. Well, apparently they still managed to just throw where they want, moving that disc. We see upline options, opening the game to get a wide open player on the open side for the goal. Poland just moving that disc anyway, everywhere, whatever the defense is.
We've had an interesting comment in the live chat. I want Zoltan to join Hive, only way they get my money. But I agree with Delphine Mortel, that was indeed Virginia's point.
And 13-9, 2 points away for Poland. But Hungary with the offense will probably not give up.
Oh, they definitely won't give up.
I mean, when you're coming at such a championship with such a small roster, you must be really fired up and willing to play. This is commitment.
So looking at the pace of this second half, we talked about it might be a little bit longer than the first. That 11-minute and 20-second point to open us up, but apart from the third point, that one that again took 7, we are back into the rhythm of these quick and efficient holds or breaks for both sides. The Polish zone being applied once more. It seems like the Hungarians not entirely sure what to do with it at first. Just walking Frisbee right now for some of their own players. Certainly the number 84 on Harnier, so I bet to see that. Oh, that's a beautifully executed hammer. That's exactly what you need to do to rip open the lid in these calm conditions. But Poland will be more than happy to just trade out at this moment. Clement. 16-year-old towering over everybody. Just sat at the back, biding his time. It's another fabulously executed hammer from that number 3 jersey, Luka Takac. It's the 19-year-old residing in Good back home. I think that's how you say it. Plays for Budapest Heroes.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness, and that's a hero shot if ever there was, just all alone at the back of the end zone.
That is exactly what we said. Everyone on this team is playing whatever the gender is, just everyone's taking the same responsibilities. And that was Takac with the hammer. I love that. We don't see so often women throw hammers, and I really enjoy having a look at that one.
Is that another one from Luka Takac?
I think it might be. Look at this vision. Receiver rising the arms to be seen and just waiting for that perfectly put hammer in the end zone. Lovely.
Yeah, indeed. The assist, so that's 3 absolute gilt-edged, gold-plated hammers from Luka Takac. Of course, mixed division gold medalist from the World Junior Ultimate Championships last season. There's a load of them, actually. That gold medal winning team getting experience in this seniors division. Watch out for Hungary mixed in the future. I'm sure they will come back with a couple of extra pairs of legs and loads of fresh ideas. But a stumble there from the Polish. And is this now an opportunity for the Hungarians to come roaring back into this game? There's only a couple of breaks in it. So can the Hungarians find some flow? A timeout immediately to collect themselves and decide what they're going to do. But yeah, the connections on this Hungarian side are very apparent. In fact, we have 2 besties, Melinda Kolanagi and Luka Takac, both best friends, BFFs forever and on the pitch. But we'll take a break here with this this timeout being taken by the Hungarians and see what they can come out with, Charlotte, in the late stages of this game. Poland lead though 13-10 over the Hungarians.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my! Somehow they do it!
Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Back in play here, or just about to be. Poland currently standing tall over Hungary, 13-10. But a moment of confusion for the O-line of Poland, who have only been turned over once so far up until this moment. Giving a short field opportunity to the Hungarians. The hammer over the top and a layout goal. That was absolutely sensational. Oh, where was the spice? Where was the spice earlier on, Hungary? Visionary throw, cut from the back of the stack from Halat. And that was absolutely wonderful. The 19-year-old reeling in the goal. Thrown, of course, by Frenet Clement, or Clement. Well, they say that the team name for the club from that's quite a few of these Hungarian players is Budapest Heroes, and that was an absolute heroic throw all the way across, and a amazing redemption catch, the layout grab. Well, that's given us something to get mighty excited about, and hopefully it adds a little bit of something into the legs of the Hungarians. Can they, though, get another break on the Polish O-line that up until this moment had been looking so very good? Shots fired into the centre. The catch. And they're back, streaking through. Getting that jailbreak underway, giving and going. This Polish offense keeps flowing. It's a little slinky inside shot. Happy to dish, give and go. Not really using too much of the lateral field because they don't have that reset there. Now there is one coming a little bit. Salik has a think about the doorstep one and finds an easy goal to Kasper Podgieni. Yeah, first of 4 potential match points here for the Polish mixed side. They've had 2 turnovers all game for their O-line, both capitalised upon by the Hungarian mixed side. In fact, no, I tell a lie. There's 3 turnovers, because there are 2 turnovers in that point. For the Polish, they tried to recover, but could not. As we see, the man himself. If you wanna, and if your Hungarian is good enough, and you want to watch a little bit more of the interview action with the man himself, Coach Zoltán, then you can actually get over to Flying Disc TV, which is run by one of the players' dads, Luka Takach's dad, who we've been bigging up. It's her favourite YouTube channel. I'm sure ULTI.TV is her second favourite YouTube channel. Because, you know, you've got to love your dad more than us. We understand our place. But this is the first look to see if they can get a break for the final point in this game. But the Hungarians playing against the zone. Got a slightly different configuration. Some players we're not used to seeing. Bastendorf on the far side. That one a little bit wobbly, but well redeemed. Paksai with that ear tape. A wall of Polish defenders just trying to force lateral decisions. All quiet. Now a find through. Can they find the continuation to make the most of it? Not quite. The timing not entirely there. That's a nice find though on this near sideline. The lefty dishing through. This is now moving it forward with a little bit more pace and speed. Seeking those targets upfield. Like that little gainer for Paksai. High lefty dish. This is really lovely composure and patience from the Hungarian O-line. They do either throw laterally or get a couple of extra yards, it seems, and they swing around. So not really losing too much when they reset the disc. That one very close to the jaws of the defense, but well kept. Ratzendorf. Doesn't really look much for the break, just at the last moment finds a reset pass. Solski puts up a lot of air underneath it, but lovely grab, run down, in stride balance. Seredas even. So no real upsets amongst the pack there, Charlotte, I think it's fair to say.
Expected, but the Italy-Slovakia one is surprisingly. Ready to fight as well.
Well, I'd have to say, certainly getting this high into the score lines, reaching towards that 15 points cap with still over quarter of an hour left in the regulation time slot. These games, of course, being played to 100 minutes, but this is the second match point for Poland. Every single one now, they'll be coming out on offense, but can they put it to bed in the first instance? Of course, the Hungarians still quite close as they sit in their defending end zone, do the Polish. Stepaniak looks to the far side. Flowing and moving once again. Klebichka underneath the armpit of the mark almost. Good body control. had, but I think about 2 collisions total this entire mixed game, which we'd like to see none at all, but if you're going to have them, it's a pretty low number. Rudy now. They're popping back with Klevitska. Those two have got great connections on this O-line. Rudy, the sideline all quiet as we reach towards, and it's going to be just a quick run over that front line for Stepinak. Well, that we have it, folks. Poland mix will be going into the championship bracket. They advance to quarter-finals, and it's going to be Hungary, I think, just a little bit too tired in the end, not quite the personnel to go deep into this European Championship, but that was a great effort. Nonetheless, they will go and play for finals.
Putting an interesting zone for us to talk about. So congratulations to Poland for the win, for qualifying. And good fight from Hungary, giving us some topic to talk about with this zone defense that I still would like to know more about.
But at the end of the day, the Polish offensive line just looks so strong. Looking at our stat sheet, certainly Kasper Bogani really eating up the board. 3 goals, 1 assist. And the female matching players. Is there anyone you'd particularly highlight for the Polish side, Charlotte, in terms of their style of play?
I'll just say like how they managed to analyze the field, the space, and just use whatever is given to them. They took advantage of it, and I think this is like we could call that boring ultimate because it's efficient, simple, and working. But why would you go for fancier and riskier when you can have this beautiful, effective ultimate, efficient ultimate? And I think this would be the thing to highlight with the Polish team, is playing their game and not doing too much.
Well, there's a little quirk in that circle for the Polish from that angle. Our overhead shots here on field 11. Almost looks like a love heart. I'm sure they're happy to send back lots of love to their home nation. And of course, massive hats off to the Hungarians getting this close to the championship bracket with just 15 personnel. Lots of them are juniors. They are indeed young whippersnappers. But we're going to get a sideline interview with Kasper, I hope I'm saying this right, Bogani. He's got some lovely zinc sunscreen on. So, Kasper, congratulations on making quarterfinals. How did it feel to win this match?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, we prepared for quite some time for this tournament, and we aim as high as possible, so top 8 is the place we want to be, and we are very glad to do it. Yeah.
Well, it's your second time in the championship bracket. I think it was 2011 that you got the 7th position at EUC. Last time you narrowly missed out. I think it was a 9th place finish. So what's the game plan now? Are you just taking it each sort of, match at a time for your opponents, or do you have a particular number that you'd like to finish?
No. We just look for one match at a time. The situation in pools was very dynamic, so it was very hard to predict what's gonna happen, which place we're gonna advance for pre-quarters from, and yeah, so it was just yesterday when we found out we're gonna play Hungary, so we don't like look much into the future, but we wanted this top 8 as like, I would say, kind of plan minimum.
Well, certainly you got pushed into throwing all the passes to win that match. We ourselves in the booth were a bit confused as to why the Hungarians kept playing the zone offense. But how did it feel for you? Kind of, was there any frustration of, oh, we have to throw loads of passes again? Or were you just happy to continue playing through that zone?
Yeah, I guess we prefer playing Mandy versus Mandy, but of course we are prepared to play against zone, especially in Ireland. Today it is like the quietest weather we've played so far, so the zone was not so difficult, but still, you know, it's the more passes you do, the biggest risk you're gonna screw something up. So there is some kind of pressure, but I think we managed it very fine, and we are happy with the result.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there were only 3 turnovers the entire game for your O-line. Of course, that first one off the slightly loose throw that gave the Hungarians that break. Did that cause any shakes, do you think, in your team?
I hope not. I think we are like mentally prepared, but of course, like losing offense and getting the broken at the first point is kind of hard. But you know, it's just it's better to forget it. Let's play the match from the start, believe in our defense, and
Excellent. Well, do you think you found your top level yet in this tournament, or do you have a little bit more to give as a team?
oh no, we definitely grow as a team from match to match. So I'm pretty sure the best is still ahead of us, and we are hungry for more.
Well, I have to say, massive hats off to your defensive line players. 2 of those breaks took 39 passes, and one of them took 29 passes. Well, I have to say, you're probably one of the calmest teams we've seen out here on the stream. You did have the nice weather for it, but a massive congratulations. A very impressive performance, Casper. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks all the work, ULTI.TV. We love you.
We love you guys too. Well, it is our pleasure to bring this coverage to you good folks here on the warm, humid fields of Limerick, Ireland. But that was quite the matchup. The zone continues to be played by the Hungarians, but the Polish happy to slice through it. So we don't have our overall pass totals. That's the most amusing stat for me for this game. But look at that. Break chances given to Hungary. They managed to convert 2 of them, but they just couldn't quite put it together on offense, Charlotte.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just getting the turnovers done. That was the problem for Hungary. They struggled to make Poland get them to make mistakes, and just Poland would play clean, not enough pressure maybe on them, and we see, but once the turnover is done, they do convert them into breaks.
Absolutely. As a D-line, you have to be pretty happy with your break conversions here. Took 2 of 3 opportunities that were given, but those were just 2 points. They managed to convert every time the Polish O-line turned over in this match. But some questions asked, some responses, and it's going to be Poland who will advance into the quarter-finals here in the mixed division. We're getting to the business end of this tournament, so it's going to be Poland up against the winner of the pre-quarter number 4. That just result yet to be determined. Oh, it's been determined now.
Italy.
Hasn't been put in the bracket. There we go. So they will face the Italians. The other side of this one, on the same side of this bracket, sorry, you have Ireland facing up over Latvia. Any other results coming in yet, Charlotte?
We have Germany who won over Austria 15-6. So Italy over Slovakia. GB won over Switzerland 15-6, while Lithuania and Czech Republic are still trading 13-13.
So we're going to get a Germany-France quarter-final and a Great Britain. Well, who knows, Lithuania or Czech Republic are going to have a lot of momentum, whoever wins that much coming in against Great Britain. So that will reel us out here for quarter-finals, tantalising you. We'll be bringing you 2 of those matches later on today, but don't go anywhere, folks. Of course, this is just the first time slot. We're going to bounce over into the open division for the 11 o'clock games here in sunny Limerick. Spain versus Austria and Italy versus Ireland. Charlotte, are you excited for that Italy-Ireland open game? Because you're on the call for it.
Oh, I am. Any qualification game is really exciting because there's something, a key at the game, and it makes it more spicy. Everyone's so fired up, can't wait. So don't forget to stay tuned.
Absolutely. We will see you folks on the other side, but the final score here for this game, Poland 15, Hungary 12.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, ultimate.
ULTI.TV.